Well, thank you all for coming out this morning. We wanted to inform everybody that at 8:30 this morning in a 3900 block of Sunshine Canyon in Boulder County, we captured our fugitive who escaped from our facility on September 5th. We have been looking non-stop for him since he made his escape from our facility at about 9:30 p.m. on September 5th. We have collaborated and had a lot of people out looking for him, following tips and leads over the last 2 weeks, and it finally culminated in his capture this morning at 8:30 in Boulder County. The information we had at the time that he was staying at a vacant house at that location, the 3900 block of Sunshine Canyon, a house that was for sale, and the information turned out to be good. We coordinated with the Boulder County Sheriff's Office, along with the people we had working with us, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, Arvada Police Department, the Auto Theft Task Force. We had a lot of people out looking for him in the last couple of days. He had committed, at least we verified, he had committed several felonies in the arena of stealing cars, 6 of which we can identify that he actively stole during his time on when he was out, and we are pursuing those charges as well. What happened this morning was, again, we had information that he was staying at this location. He did show up early this morning at that location. With the help of the Boulder County Sheriff's Office and the Boulder Police Department, along with the people we had on the scene, the object was to catch him in the house and use the Boulder County SWAT team to make the contact and the arrest. While they were setting up and trying to plan for that capture, he got in the vehicle, which was a stolen vehicle that he had stolen out of Arvada, well, unincorporated really, but it was an Arvada mailing address, about 58th and Easley a couple of days ago. He was exiting that house, got in his vehicle, was backing out of the driveway, and that area is it's kind of mountainous, so the driveway is very steep and the terrain there is pretty rough. He was backing out of that driveway. He saw the Bearcat, which is a vehicle that is used by SWAT teams. He saw the Bearcat. He was in the process of eluding. He rammed the Bearcat and started back up the driveway and rolled the vehicle down a steep embankment that was adjacent to the driveway. He was taken into custody without event after that and transported to the Boulder Community Hospital, where he's there for treatment. I just want to express the appreciation for all law enforcement and the media as well for putting out the information about him during his escape and subsequent criminal activity through the last couple of weeks. A lot of agencies were looking for him. He was tried to be contacted on several occasions, and he eluded at a high rate of speed any traffic contacts. So that kind of made us think that we needed to find him at a location where he would not be engaged in a high-speed pursuit, which would jeopardize the community. So again, thanks to the media and certainly all the law enforcement and participants that were there at the time.
Does that mean you had spotted him prior to today?
Yes, he had been located or seen several times in the past 2 weeks, and again, units from Commerce City had spotted him, tried to stop him, but again, they backed off when he was driving in a dangerous fashion. The Lakewood Police Department spotted him, same thing. Wheat Ridge spotted him, the same thing. So he was obviously committed to not being captured, at least while he was in a vehicle.
One of those incidents, was that last night? And if so, can you tell us what happened?
Last night?
Was he spotted last night? Was there an incident?
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he was spotted in Lakewood at a gas station. They tried to get enough cars there. He took off at a high rate of speed down Wadsworth. Wheat Ridge picked up the pursuit for a short period of time, but again, because he was driving in excess of 100 miles an hour down Wadsworth at noontime, and I compliment those agencies for backing off, for not pursuing under those conditions.
Are you surprised that he stuck around the area the entire time?
Well, our information was all his contacts, all his relatives, all his associates were in the area, so there was no reason to believe that he would leave the area for that reason. There was information that the last time he was arrested was in California, but we had no reason to believe he had left the area, especially with all the information and the tips we were getting via our tip line and some of the intelligence information that we were gathering. There was no reason to believe that he had left the area. He had stolen cars, and like I said, several cars. Highlands Ranch area, also in Arvada, Lakewood, Evergreen, Golden, so he was pretty active in stealing cars. His MO was, he was not the kind of car thief you'd traditionally see where you break into a car and hotwire it. He always looked for open garage doors or vehicles that had the keys in them. That was what that was his MO in selecting those vehicles.
Sheriff, can you talk a little bit more, as much in depth as you can, about the operation trying to apprehend him this morning? Because obviously, had he been in the house and you were able to get in the house, he would never have been allowed to get in the car in the first place. So at which stage of the apprehension or setting up the operation to get him out of the house were your folks that he actually, got in the car and drove away?
They were in the process of the Boulder County Sheriff's Office was in the process of executing their arrest plan, and that would be to move the Bearcat up that driveway to block his exit, and then the SWAT people would create their perimeter, and per protocol they would try to talk him out first before they would make entry. That was the plan, and that was in the process of being set up when he got in the vehicle and tried to leave.
Do you have any indication that you saw you guys? I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to really talk.
Well, the indication is that once he backed out of the driveway, he saw the staging of the officers on Sunshine Canyon, and that's when he ran the Bearcat.
Why not do this operation overnight where he may be sleeping? Or he just got back to the house this morning, you said?
The information we have is obviously he's a substance abuser. Meth was his drug of choice. So certainly there is a lot of unpredictability. So again, the information we had, he had been staying at that location for a couple nights. We had other information. He might have been staying at some other locations. We checked those out. So this was the best information we had. Our investigators and our support teams were set up on that until very, very early in the morning. They were about ready to break down because he did not show up, and then he showed up.
What is the extent of his injuries? Do you know?
I don't know the extent of his injuries. I know he's there for observation, but he did roll, the van did roll several feet down this steep embankment that was adjacent to the driveway. So I don't know what the extent of the injuries are.
It's a van that rolled in.
Yes.
Do you know if anybody was harboring him? And was there any describe the house, but was there any indication someone was?
No, the house was vacant. It's a house for sale. So there's no indication. As a matter of fact, I talked to Sheriff Pelly up there. They checked the house. It's a vacant house. There's nothing in there. Why he selected that house or found that house, we don't know yet.
Do you have any indication, Sheriff, that anyone else, harbored him as he was out in the past 2 weeks?
Well, there is indication of that, but we'll be pursuing those and those individuals as this investigation continues.
With so many spottings, is there a reason why the public wasn't told? For example, yesterday he was spotted in Lakewood and there was a high-speed chase. Was there a specific reason why the public wasn't informed of those things?
It was so quick and so brief. I mean, the pursuit only lasted a few seconds before Lakewood called it off because of his driving. So any citizen involvement or any notification to citizens would have been, it would have been useless because of the short duration of those chases.
And then talk about the relief you must be feeling now having this person off of the street.
Well, absolutely, it's a relief. His MO again, he's a car thief. He's steals credit cards and credit card fraud and things of that nature. So it's a relief anytime because he's out committing other crimes, and again, those chases put the community in jeopardy. So it's a relief to get him off the street, get him back into custody, and he's going to be facing a lot of additional charges other than the original charges he was here for. So hopefully he'll be in for a long period of time.
Was there any indication that he stayed with his mom at all up in Arvada?
No indication.
Okay.
And then to reiterate, talk about the collaboration that was necessary between the different police agencies to make sure this capture happened, and the collaboration that's been happening over the last couple of weeks.
Right, that's why I wanted to reiterate we're very thankful for our law enforcement partners throughout the metro area, because when something like this happens, we all come together, we all share information, we all communicate, and like I said, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office had committed personnel to our efforts, as did the Arvada Police Department, as did the Auto Theft Task Force, as did the Fugitive Location Apprehension Group. So we were in constant communications and assignments of tracking down leads and associates to try to get him, and it took a period of time to do that.
Moving forward, what type of changes will happen with the jail to prevent this from happening again, if any?
Well, I don't know if you're aware, but earlier in the summer we identified some weaknesses in those wire meshings in our recreation yard, and we did contract with a company to secure those wells. Unfortunately, the place where he escaped from was not done to specifications, and he apparently noticed that, and over a period of days started working those wells loose to the point where he could slip through. Going forward, obviously we have inspected all the facilities, make sure all the wells and all the security is up to specifications. We will be adding some extra security measures on those outdoor recreation yards to ensure this doesn't happen in the future.
So Sheriff, and are you looking at who is responsible for inspecting how the work was done? Because this is new information to us. Somebody did the work, the county paid for it, so it's several-fold question. Who's responsible for it not being done right, for checking it, and then is the company going to refund the money? How? Talk about the security part of this equation.
Well, yes, they are going to be held responsible for their work, and certainly they have been aware of that, and we are taking measures to, again, do the proper fixes on those with the associate inspection to make sure that it meets code.
So who was responsible for inspecting the work and did not find anything wrong?
Well, I'm not at liberty to say that because there might be some lawsuits.
But are you looking into it, assuming?
Yes, absolutely.
What about surveillance of the rec yard and the accountability there? Is it constantly surveilled through video cameras, or a jailer who's in the yard with the inmates, and how will that change?
Well, there's going to be several procedural changes, obviously. Yes, it was video, it was monitored. And looking at the video, he did have some collaboration with some of the other inmates in the yard to keep a lookout for deputies and things of that nature. I know you're not familiar with our facility, but up there's 2-3 deputies at that time of night that is monitoring 3 different pods that have up to 90 inmates in it. So when they go out in the recreation yard, it's the door is open and they're doing whatever they do in their recreation. So it's under those conditions, it's pretty difficult to watch them full time, and he knew that. Obviously, by his motions, his actions, and certainly by the lookouts that he had posted. And it was over a period of time where he worked the wells loose.
Will those other inmates face any type of punishment for helping him escape?
They didn't help him.
Or even being on the lookout?
Well, I don't know what punishment they can, other than say, we didn't help him. They're inmates, and they look after each other, and so we're looking to all aspects. I can't say it won't happen, but I'm just saying it's unlikely.
When he's back in your custody, what precautions, without disclosing all of your security measures, but what extra precautions, if any, will the Sheriff's Office take to keep him in custody, because he's effective at getting out?
He will be placed in our special housing unit. which is a very confined space in a single cell. He will not be let out to in what we call the day room without supervision, so he will be monitored constantly. The special housing unit is designed exactly for that. We've had some notable other people in there. Austin Sig was in our special housing unit, so it's very, very tight security, and there's no contact with other inmates.
Do you have extra people watching him at the hospital now?
Yes.
How many extra versus what a normal inmate?
Well, right now, again, I talked to Sheriff Pelley. Obviously, the sheriff's office is there monitoring. We have people on scene and we will, around the clock, watch him for as long as he's in the facility. Then Boulder County will graciously transport him up here when he is released from the hospital.
Do you anticipate that being today?
Well, again, I don't know the extent of his injuries. I can't say.
Sheriff, certainly the public is happy that this man is back behind bars or will soon be. But the incident comes as a black eye for the jail. Is there any message you want to give to the public about your ability to protect them from criminals?
Well, I guess I don't think it's a black eye. I think, this facility was built in 1986, and obviously over a period of time there's things that need to be fixed and maintained. Again, we tried to look at those, and we did, and thought the fix was done, but apparently it was not. So, in 150 years we've had one single escape. I can't, I don't know what to tell the public other than the fact this is a well-run facility. It's nationally accredited. All those aspects that you would want in a professional detention facility are in place. There are obviously some fixes we'll have to do procedurally to make sure and ensure this doesn't happen in the future.
Sheriff, how do you feel about this as sort of, this may be the last big thing before you retire? Yes?
I hope so.
How do you feel about this, before your distinguished career, before you're done? This is kind of unpleasant, right?
Well, yeah, obviously it's unpleasant because, you take pride in the organization, and certainly the public safety is your responsibility. And when something like this happens, it does kind of give a sour taste in your mouth. But again, I think our efforts prove that we take this stuff seriously. Again, around the clock, we were trying to locate this individual. He was bent on eluding us at every opportunity, and we had to focus on trying to take him into custody in the safest manner possible. So, yeah, we could have done done chases and everything else, but that would not be prudent in the interest of public safety. So we decided to be as cautious as possible when we're trying to take him into custody.
Are you aware, is there a department across the state policy of no chases? Because sometimes that issue comes up.
I think each department has their own policy regarding chases. Obviously, the primary thing is the crime that they committed, and if they're, there's all kinds of things that go into it. The traffic conditions, the time of day, the driving patterns, all those things are taken into consideration when deciding to terminate or even pursue an individual. Again, his MO was property crimes. He was not an assaultive or a danger to individuals. His was all property crimes.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Okay, you guys good?